Breaking news out of Raleigh, North Carolina, NC State has hired its newest offensive coordinator in Robert Anae. This news reported by ESPN's Pete Thamel as Anae served this past year as Syracuse offensive coordinator, inside receivers, and tight ends coach, as he will now replace Tim Beck, who of course was hired as the new head coach at Coastal Carolina. Wishing Beck the best of luck, excited for Robert Anae to get to town. When you talk about familiarity, Dave Doeren has not worked with Anae previously, but two people within this coaching staff have. Anae worked with Ruffin McNeil at Texas Tech when they were both assistants there. McNeil now Dave Doeren's special assistant to the head coach. Following their time together at Texas Tech, Anae spent a year on the same staff at Arizona with current defensive coordinator Tony Gibson. Anae does have coordinator experience, of course, Syracuse, as I just mentioned, but was also the offensive coordinator at Virginia with Bronco Mendenhall until this past year. And while he was at Virginia, Cavaliers were third nationally in yards per game. Anae, originally from Hawaii, played at BYU on the offensive line, and after starting his career as a grad assistant, originally at Hawaii, and then at BYU, his alma mater, he worked his way up the coaching ladder as an OL coach, starting at Boise State, then on to UNLV, and in 2000, Anae was hired as the offensive line coach at Texas Tech, beginning a 5-year stint. He left there to become the OC at BYU in 2005. He would hold that for 6 years, and then would resign in 2010, accepting a job as the running game coordinator and offensive line coach at the University of Arizona. In 2013, he was hired by Bronco Mendenhall back at BYU in the same position he had previously had there, and left with him to UVA in 2015. Virginia's offense continued to improve in Anae's time there, and both Gibson and Dave Doeren spoke highly of how Anae had improved not just Virginia's offense, but Syracuse's offense this season as well. And a good question posed by Matt Carter at thewolfpacker.com, and guys, go check out his work, the rest of our work over there. The question: how does Robert Anae's hiring affect the position coaches? Throughout his career, he's been exclusively coaching receivers, tight ends, or offensive line. And as you remember, Beck handled the quarterbacks for NC State before moving along to Coastal Carolina, so it's going to be interesting to see what other moves happen laterally to this announcement that Robert Anae will be the new offensive coordinator. But big news for the Wolfpack here. More big news coming as well, as Garett Tujague was hired as NC State's OL coach. This move being made after Beck leaves for Coastal, but also John Garrison, the OL and run game coordinator, leaves for Ole Miss. And now Garett Tujague, with a similar background as a guy like Robert Anae, will replace Garrison. Matt Zennett's the first to report this news. Tujague has working experience. He was at Virginia. He was at BYU as well with Anae, and was at Syracuse in the most recent stop. Originally from California, another alum of BYU, played on that offensive line as well, transferring into the program after 2 years in junior college there. He would go on to block for the Heisman winner, Ty Detmer, another guy spoken very highly of by Beck. And now a similar question that we posed for Anae, now posed here as well for Tujague. How is this going to affect the offensive coaching staff assignments? And remaining from the NC State football staff in 2022, running backs coach Kurt Roper, receivers coach Joker Phillips, and the tight end special teams coordinator Todd Gobel as well. As you start to play this out in your head, think about Roper. He has that experience with quarterbacks in the past. Does he now become the quarterbacks coach? And Garett Tujague replaces Garrison, who had served as the OL coach and run game coordinator. You wonder if Tujague steps right in and not only is the OL coach, but manages some of that run game as well. But offensive line, the main focus is NC State going to have to replace 3 starters on the front, including an All-ACC member in Grant Gibson, and Chandler Zavala as well at left guard. In addition, Bryson Spees will be gone as well this season as his eligibility is exhausted. Tujague will be the 4th offensive line coach in Dave Doeren's tenure at North Carolina State, as he does now replace John Garrison and will take over the offensive line. Guys, for more on this and all things NC State Wolfpack football, be sure to go to thewolfpacker.com. Become a member now for just $10 until the start of the next football season. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit the like button on this video, and get in the comments. Let me know what you think about the future of this coaching staff in 2023, who is going to move where, and what you guys think about these 2 big-time hires for NC State. For the Wolfpacker, my name is Trey Anity. Dave Doeren has selected a new offensive coordinator in Robert Anae and a new offensive line coach in Garett Tujague.